Hello, I'm Grace. We will now examine whether recent economic indicators suggest that our economy's inflation trends have reached a new turning point. According to recent reports, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, rose by 2.8% in July compared to the same month last year. This marks the first time in 3 months that inflation has returned to the 2% range, signaling a slowdown in the high inflation trend that has persisted for several months. The decisive factor was the noticeable moderation in the price increases of petroleum products and agricultural goods, which had previously been the primary drivers of inflation. A key feature of this data is that agricultural and livestock products rose by only 0.5%, especially considering the recent extreme weather conditions. Typically, prolonged heat waves lead to supply disruptions that cause food prices to surge, but prices remained more stable than expected this time. An analysis of this phenomenon suggests that the downward stabilization of energy prices acted as a pillar, pulling down the overall inflation index. It appears that the easing of the previous high oil price trend has effectively offset upward inflationary pressures. However, a significant gap remains between these statistical figures and the actual cost of living felt by consumers. Even as the overall inflation rate decreases, the burden on the public will persist as long as the prices of specific essential items remain high. While this indicator could be interpreted as a signal that inflation is entering a stabilization trajectory, it is too early to be completely reassured. Since supply chain instability and volatility driven by climate change still exist, the sustainability of this price stability must be verified. The government's focus on managing supply by monitoring the growth status of agricultural products is also an effort to control such uncertainties. Ultimately, it is no exaggeration to say that the future direction of inflation depends on international petroleum price trends and the stability of agricultural supply and demand. Rather than reacting emotionally to short-term fluctuations in figures, we must now closely observe whether this trend of price stability becomes structurally established. I'm Grace, thanks for watching.